Picture this scenario, a situation that plays out in countless relationships and dating dynamics every single day. You have been talking to a woman who has been warm, responsive, and engaged. She laughs at your jokes. She makes time for you. She texts you first. Everything seems to be building towards something real. Then, without warning, everything changes. Her replies become short and distant. She takes hours to respond to messages she used to answer in minutes. She acts like she could not care less about you or anything you have to say. Your mind immediately goes to the worst possible conclusions. You think she lost interest. You think you did something wrong. You think she found someone else. You replay every conversation, searching for the mistake you must have made, the wrong word, the wrong tone, the wrong move. But here is what is actually happening beneath the surface, and it is going to sound completely backwards. She caught herself needing you, and that realization absolutely terrified her. There is a psychological phenomenon called a vulnerability hangover. It is the experience of opening up emotionally and then immediately regretting it, followed by a powerful urge to pull back and protect yourself. It happens to everyone, but for women, especially those who have been hurt before, the vulnerability hangover can be intense enough to trigger a complete behavioral reversal. The stronger her feelings become, the harder she will push you away. It is not logical. It is survival instinct. When she starts to feel that pull toward you, when she realizes you are becoming important to her, when she catches herself thinking about you at 2 in the morning, her brain hits the panic button. Her instinct says, pull back, create distance, act unbothered. She is not trying to be cruel. She is trying to survive her own feelings. This is where most men get it completely wrong. They see her pulling away and they chase harder, trying to close the distance she has created. But chasing her when she is retreating only confirms her deepest fear, that needing someone means losing control. The psychologist Carl Jung, who spent his life exploring the hidden patterns of the human psyche, observed that the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. For many women, accepting that they need a man, that they have let someone become important to them, is a terrifying prospect, and so they run from that acceptance by running from him. Before we go further, if this resonates with you, if you have ever been confused by a woman who seemed interested and then suddenly pulled away, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because what you are about to learn is the kind of psychological truth that most people never discover, and it is going to change how you see every relationship you have from now on. Let us start with the uncomfortable truth about why she hides how much she needs you. The reason has very little to do with you and everything to do with her past. Between the ages of 5 and 12, most girls absorb powerful lessons about love, dependency, and power. They watch their mothers, their aunts, or the women closest to them become emotionally dependent on a man, and they witness what happens next. Maybe he leaves. Maybe he cheats. Maybe he becomes emotionally unavailable. The woman they looked up to falls apart, and a program gets installed in that little girl's brain. Never need a man that much. Never give him that power. Never be the one who cares more. Fast forward to adulthood. She is attracted to you. She is starting to feel something real. And that old program kicks in with a warning. Danger. You are getting too close. You are becoming too important. Pull back now. The more you pursue her when she pulls back, the more you confirm that program. You are proving that needing someone equals losing power. This is why her behavior can seem so contradictory. She likes you, but she pushes you away. She wants to be close, but she creates distance. She craves connection, but she acts cold. It does not make logical sense because it is not coming from her logical brain. It is coming from a much older, much more primal part of her psyche that is trying to protect her from being hurt. The psychoanalyst Donald Winnicott, who studied the development of emotional life, wrote that it is only in being alone that the infant can discover its own personal life. For many women, the fear of losing themselves in a relationship leads them to retreat into aloneness, even when they deeply desire connection. They are not pulling away from you. They are pulling away from the feeling of needing you, because that feeling reminds them of a time when needing someone ended in pain. Here is where it gets really interesting. There is one specific behavior that reveals she is completely hooked, and 99% of men miss it because it looks exactly like rejection. It is the 7th sign in a list of 7 signs that she needs you more than she is letting on. But before we get to that, you need to understand all 7 signs, because if you only recognize 1 or 2, you might misread the situation entirely. The first sign is that she creates conflict out of nowhere. She gets annoyed at small things that never used to bother her. She picks fights over nothing. She questions your decisions. She tests your patience over things that genuinely do not matter. Most men see this and think it means she is losing interest. That is a complete misinterpretation. She is not losing interest. She is trying to push you away before she gets too attached. She is testing you. She is creating distance on purpose to see if you will stay calm or if you will react with desperation. The moment you chase her, the moment you apologize and try to fix things, something shifts in her brain. She loses attraction instantly and often does not even know why. But if you stay calm, if you do not react to her emotional provocations, she will respect you more than she can explain. The psychiatrist and philosopher Karl Jaspers, who explored the boundaries of human understanding, wrote that the task of the psychologist is to understand the other person from within. When she creates conflict, you have to understand what is happening within her. She is not angry at you. She is angry at herself for caring so much. And your calmness disarms that anger because it shows you are not threatened by her fear. The second sign is that she watches your life obsessively while pretending not to care. She views your stories within 30 seconds of you posting them. She notices tiny changes in your routine, your haircut, your new profile picture, the fact that you were out late last night. She asks casual questions that are actually reconnaissance missions. "Oh, you were out late last night? Who is that in your picture? You seem different lately." These are not random observations. She is monitoring your life because you have gotten under her skin. The more nonchalant she sounds, the more obsessed she actually is. But if you call her out on it, if you say, "Why are you always watching my stories?" she will probably deny it and pull back even further. You have to respond in a way that acknowledges her attention without making her feel exposed. The third sign is that she brings up other women, not to encourage you, but to see if you are available. She is fishing for information, testing your interest, checking if she still has your attention. And here is the mistake that kills attraction. If you are too quick to reassure her, if you say, "Oh no, you are the only one," she will lose respect for you immediately. Why? Because it makes you look like you have no options, like you are desperate to keep her, like you would drop everything for her. That is not attractive. That is needy. The fourth sign is that she remembers everything you say. Small details from weeks ago, your favorite food, the story you told about your childhood, things you mentioned once in passing. When a woman is falling for you, she pays attention. She is building a file on you in her mind, even when she acts like she is barely listening. She is studying you because you matter to her. The fifth sign is that she shows up in your world repeatedly. Same coffee shop, same gym, same events. She comments on your posts. She makes herself visible. She needs plausible deniability because admitting she is seeking you out would mean admitting she cares. The sixth sign is that she tells you about other guys who are interested in her. This is a test, and most men fail it completely. If you get jealous, you look insecure. If you compete, you look desperate. If you say nothing, you look disinterested. The only response that works is calm, grounded, outcome independent. You say, "That is cool. You should date whoever makes you happy." This shows you are not threatened, not competing, not waiting for her to choose you. And that flips a switch in her brain. Suddenly, you are the prize. The seventh sign is the most powerful and the most misunderstood. When she needs you too much, she will do something that looks like complete indifference. She will go days without responding. She will act busy. She will treat you like you do not matter. But here is what is really happening behind the scenes. She is fighting with herself. Half of her wants to text you right now. The other half is terrified of what that means. Her childhood programming says, "Pull back." Her body says, "Reach out." And in that internal battle, she does something that looks like rejection but is actually a cry for stability. She needs to know that you will not fall apart. She needs to know that you will not chase her. She needs to know that she can need you without losing herself. When you see these 7 signs, you have a choice. Most men do exactly the wrong thing. They see these signs and think, "Great, now I can pursue harder. Now I can show her I care. Now I can lock this down." This is a catastrophic mistake. Because the moment you start chasing, you confirm her deepest fear, that she is more invested than you are, that she needs you more than you need her, that she is losing control. And when a woman feels that power imbalance, something happens in her brain. Dopamine drops, oxytocin spikes, and she starts to see you as safe, predictable, and boring. The attraction dies. So, what do you do instead? You pull back slightly, not in a petty way, not to play games, but with genuine outcome independence. You match her energy, not out of spite, but because you are genuinely busy living your life. When she creates conflict, you do not get defensive. You stay completely calm. You address the feeling beneath her words, not the words themselves, and you do it without explaining yourself. The moment you explain, you lose. When she tests you by mentioning other guys, you say, "That is cool. You should date whoever makes you happy." This shows you are not threatened. You are not competing. You have options. You are not sitting around hoping she picks you. And that flips the switch in her brain. Suddenly, you are the prize, the one she might lose, and that changes everything. But this only works if it is authentic. If you are faking confidence, she will smell it a mile away. If you are pretending you do not care while secretly obsessing, she will sense the neediness underneath. You actually have to become the kind of man who does not need her validation, who is genuinely fine whether she stays or goes, who has a life so full that she is an addition, not the main event. The writer and philosopher Gabor Mate, who has studied addiction and attachment, observes that the deepest human need is to be seen and accepted for who we really are. When a woman feels that you see her, truly see her, and that you are not threatened by her need, she begins to let her guard down. She begins to trust that you will not use her need against her. And that trust is the foundation of everything that comes next. Here is the final move that seals the deal, but timing is everything. Do it too early and you look desperate. Do it too late and she moves on. You wait for her to reach out and she will. Once you have pulled back and built your life, once she sees you are genuinely moving forward, she will test the waters. A random text, a story reply, a casual, "Hey, how have you been?" And here is what 90% of men do wrong. They jump on it. They respond immediately. They pour out their feelings. They try to lock her down. Wrong. Here is what you do instead. You respond, but not right away. Not with paragraphs. Not with questions that keep the conversation going. You respond with calm, confident brevity. And here is what happens in her brain. She expected you to chase. She expected neediness. She expected you to prove yourself. But you did not. You stayed grounded, and that creates cognitive dissonance. Wait, why is he not more excited? Does he not care anymore? Did I wait too long? Who is he busy with? That curiosity becomes obsession, and obsession becomes action. She will reach out again, more directly this time. And when she does, you will know she is ready. The psychoanalyst Erich Fromm, who wrote extensively about love and human connection, observed that love is not a sentiment which can be easily indulged in by anyone. It is a practice, a discipline, a way of being. When you respond with calm confidence, you are practicing love. You are giving her the space to come to you on her own terms, which is the only way she can truly feel safe. I know this might seem manipulative to some. I know it sounds like game playing. But here is the truth. You are not manipulating her. You are breaking a pattern that has been controlling her since childhood. You are showing her it is safe to need you because you are not going to weaponize that need. You are not going to become needy yourself. You are going to stay grounded no matter what she does. The writer Rainer Maria Rilke, in his letters to a young poet, wrote that love consists in this, that two solitudes protect and touch and greet each other. When you create a space where she can be alone in her feelings without being punished for them, you are creating the conditions for a genuine connection. You are allowing two solitudes to meet. Need is desperate. Want is powerful. And when she feels wanted without feeling pressured, when she feels safe without feeling trapped, she stops hiding how much she needs you. That is when the walls come down. That is when she stops acting. That is when you see the real her. And that is when something genuine can actually begin. But it only works if you are real, if you have actually done the work, if you have actually become that man. The philosopher and psychologist William James, often called the father of American psychology, wrote that the deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. When you appreciate her for who she really is, without trying to change her or fix her, she feels that appreciation deeply, and that feeling is what makes her want to stay.